Lay down.
Hi! Are you in the video too? Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Liz and you know me as the Disney Historian. And here with my boyfriend Alex, we are going to be telling you all about the Disney legends from the class of 1990 and 1991.
So first up is Roger Broggie. Roger Broggie was born on October 22nd, 1908 and died November 4th, 1991. He was Walt Disney's original Imagineer. He developed and constructed the prototype of audio animatronics technology. So he installed the multiplane camera that you see in Disney Studios. He also oversaw the development of the Disney Railroad, the Disney Monorail, and the Matterhorn bobsleds. And he created the circular 360-degree motion picture format in a lot of the rides that we see.
Up next in the category of attractions is Joe Fowler. He was born on July 9th, 1894, and he died on December 6th, 1993. Joe was a veteran for World War I and World War II, and he built ships for World War II and retired as an admiral after 35 years. He was invited by Walt personally to help him. I just spit. Did you see that?
I watched that. Gross.
He was invited by Walt personally in 1954 to help construct Disneyland. Then, during the 1960s and 1970s, he was instrumental in building Walt Disney World in Orlando.
Next up on our list of Disney legends is John Hench. He was born June 29th, 1908 and died February 5th, 2000. John Hench was involved with a lot of parks design stuff and different parks locations. He helped create the master plan for Walt Disney World Resort and the Tokyo Disney Resort as well. He decided on the look and feel of the original Tomorrowland in Disneyland.
Oh, really?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He designed many of the iconic building structures for Disney's theme parks, including Cinderella's Castle at Magic Kingdom and in Tokyo Disneyland and Space Mountain. Along with the theme park attractions that he designed, he also worked on attractions for the 1964 and 65 New York World's Fair. He also developed ideas for Disney's Animal Kingdom, Disney's California Adventure, Tokyo Disney Sea, and Hong Kong Disneyland. So he was Disney's official portrait artist for Mickey Mouse, drawing the portraits of Mickey for his 25th, 50th, 60th, 70th, and 75th birthdays. I wish somebody would draw me for my birthday. I only got the first part of it.
Because he's still alive.
Oh yeah. You know, we only have the born date because he hasn't died yet.
So the next two people that we're going to talk about were both inducted for accomplishments in music, and they are arguably one of the most influential duos in not even Disney history, but music history.
These two fellas are brothers, and they go by the names of Richard and
Robert
Sherman.
So Robert Sherman was born on December 19th, 1925, and died on March 6th, 2012.
Richard Sherman was born on June 12th, 1928, and he definitely is still alive.
So these two brothers worked on countless Disney films and park projects. One of their most famous projects that they worked on together, which won them 2 Oscars, was Mary Poppins.
The winners are Richard M. Sherman and Robert B. Sherman for Mary Poppins.
Actually, Feed the Birds, which was their original composition, became Walt Disney's absolute all-time favorite song.
Feed the birds, tuppence a bag.
So these two worked for the Disney company for 13 years, and over the course of those 13 years, they received 4 Academy Award nominations, a Grammy nomination, and wrote more than 200 songs for 27 films and 24 television productions.
So the Sherman Brothers not only produced music for movies and for film, but they also produced music for the rides at the park. Some of the rides that the Sherman Brothers produced music for were the Carousel of Progress, which happens to be Walt's favorite ride, by the way, Adventure Through Inner Space, Journey into Imagination, the Tiki 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 Room, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and most notably and most annoyingly, It's a Small World was done by the Sherman Brothers. Thanks, Sherman Brothers!
For the perpetual
For the earworm that never leaves.
So whose turn is it then? My turn?
Buggies.
So the next person we are going to be talking about is one of my favorite people in the history of the planet. And
So I'm not a Disney legend.
And fun fact, I have actually met this person before. Me and my sister met her, and my sister sat on her lap. For accomplishments in film, we have the legendary Julie Andrews. This is her.
I will gladly be her. Keep this up for a while.
Julie Andrews was born on October 1st, 1935, and she is most famous in Disney for her role as Mary Poppins, which won her 2 Oscars.
Julie Andrews and Mary Poppins.
I know you Americans are famous for your hospitality, but this is really ridiculous.
As a matter of fact, it was the first time that a Disney actor won a competitive Oscar. So she was discovered at 12 years old when she sang a difficult operatic aria as part of the Starlight Roof Revue at the London Hippodrome. Walt discovered her in the early 1960s when she was playing Queen Guinevere in Camelot on Broadway. Outside of Disney, she played Maria in the legendary Sound of Music and was in films like Hawaii, Thoroughly Modern Millie, and Victor Victoria. She went back to Disney in 2001 to play the grandmother Clarice in The Princess Diaries 1 and 2.
Shut up! I beg your pardon?
So next up is Ken Anderson. He was born March 17th, 1909 and died January 13th, 1993. He was an art director, a writer, and an animator for 44 years. Because Ken had originally went to school to be an architect, he made the perfect candidate to help design and build Disneyland in California. In a way, Ken Anderson was a jack of all trades. He could do architecty stuff, but he could also architecty. That's a technical term, you can use it. He did architecty stuff, but he also was able to draw and produce really wonderful films.
Up next for accomplishments in animation and Imagineering is Mary Blair. Hi, Mary.
Hi.
Mary was born on October 21st, 1911, and she died on July 26th, 1978. Mary was instrumental in introducing modern art into the Disney studio. She attended the South America Goodwill trip that a lot of the animators went on with Walt. She was named the art supervisor for The Three Caballeros and Saludos Amigos because of her watercolor work. She greatly influenced films like Song of the South, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, and Peter Pan. She assisted in designs for the It's a Small World attraction in the 1964 and 65 New York World's Fair, and she painted murals at the Grand Canyon Concourse in Disney's Contemporary Resort.
Next up is a man by the name of Carl Banks.
Not to be confused with George Banks.
Or Mr. Banks. Carl Banks was born on March 27th, 1901 and died August 25th of 2000. He was 99 years old. Carl Banks was a cartoonist, author, and painter. He was known as the Duck Guy. He came on only a year after the most famous duck, Donald. When he came to the studio, he was asked to head a division that created a sub-series of the ducks. They tasked him with creating the rest of the duck lineage that we see in Disney. So like Scrooge McDuck and Huey, Dewey, and Louie and all those guys.
Up next for accomplishments in animation and Imagineering is Claude Coates. Claude was born on January 17th, 1913 and died on January 3rd, 1992. He worked as a background painter, color stylist, and conception designer for Walt Disney Studios. He created backgrounds for films like Snow White, Fantasia, Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, and Lady and the Tramp, and his most famous is for Pinocchio, which Disney scholars, fans, and art collectors view his drawings from Pinocchio as some of the best from the studio. He helped Walt design Disneyland, specifically the Grand Canyon and Primeval World dioramas, and he designed the Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, Snow White's Scary Adventures, and It's a Small World and the Carousel of Progress for the 1964 World's Fair. He worked at the Disney studio for 54 years.
Wow. Wow. What a guy. Next up is Don DeGrady. And he was born on March 1st, 1911 and died August 4th, 1991. He was a screenwriter. First thing that he worked on was arguably one of Disney's more controversial releases, and that was a short known as De Fuhrer's Face.
Maybe eventually we'll do
a
video.
If you want to see a video on De Fuhrer's Face, we will break it down and show you everything. Put it down below. So he originally started as a screenwriter for shorts, but then worked his way into many of the films that we see today. He was best known for winning Best Screenplay at the Oscars for Mary Poppins. Nice. A lot of Mary Poppins love today. Typically known for his writing, he was also a very talented artist who oversaw most of the movies between the early 50s to the early 70s.
Up next for accomplishments in film and television is Fess Walker.
What a name.
Fess was born on August 16th, 1924.
What? That's my sister's birthday. Megan, if you're watching, it's your birthday.
Happy birthday, Megan.
Not today, but...
He died on March 18th, 2010.
That's 6 days after my birthday and 1 day before my mom's birthday. Seems very personal.
Fess was best known for playing Davy Crockett on a 3-part television show, which catapulted his career. He starred in Disney films like The Great Locomotive Chase, Old Yeller, and The Light in the Forest. He was actually really unhappy because he was offered a small supporting role in the film Tonka, and because of this he was put on probation by the Disney studio for rejecting a role, and he subsequently left a couple of years later. But he's still great.
Yeah. Our next Disney legend is Sterling Holloway. Holla!
When?
He was born January 4th, 1905 and died on November 22nd, 1992. This Disney legend got his start in silent films before becoming one of the most recognizable voices in Disney.
That's so cool!
Right? Where do you think you've heard his voice before?
I don't know.
Well, let's find out. He was quoted as saying he loves doing cartoons because he has a, quote, heck of a lot of kid in him yet. Over his career, he's voiced many characters, but some of his most notable include Mr. Stork in Dumbo, the title character of Pooh in Winnie the Pooh, before Jim Cummings in 1988, mind you, Ha in The Jungle Book, and the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland. He has said that of the characters that he's voiced in Disney, Roquefort from the Aristocats was actually the hardest one for him to do because it's hard to do a mouse voice that doesn't sound like Mickey.
And last on our list of legends for today is Bill Walsh. Bill was born on September 30th, 1913, which is scientifically the best day ever. And he died on January 27th, 1975. Bill started working for the Disney Company in 1943 as one of the primary comic strip artists for Mickey Mouse cartoons. Besides being one of the most world-renowned producers in the world.
World-renowned producers in the world?
Yep. Besides being one of the most established producers in the world, he produced Disney films like Mary Poppins, The Mickey Mouse Club, Davy Crockett, The Shaggy Dog, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and The Love Bug.
This is The Love Bug.
The Love Bug. Walt personally chose him in 1950 to produce the first Disneyland TV show entitled 1 Hour in Wonderland, which was made to promote Alice in Wonderland. The show was an hour long and included guest stars and premiered on Christmas Day in 1950. So that's all the Disney legends that we have for you today. I hope that you guys enjoyed learning about the legends from 1990 to 1991. If you like these kinds of videos, make sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Subscribe to my channel and make sure that you are following me on Instagram so that you can catch up with all of our new videos that we have coming out and you can learn every day about what happened in Disney history. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a magical day.
Here we go!
Oh my god, you're eating a Band-Aid. Just pulled this out of my dog's mouth in case anybody was wondering.